Okay, today's lesson, we're going to be talking about patterns. All right, we're going to be talking about patterns that in numbers. Patterns in numbers, okay? So we're going to be talking about the different rules for the patterns and all that good stuff. I'm trying to find the rules and using those rules to extend patterns. So how are patterns used to solve problems? Mr. Pinion?
It tells you, or it helps you by learning how it works. Like if you have the next question, then
It's hard to explain?
Yeah.
We use patterns to find out what comes next. The rule for what comes next, so we can find out what comes further down the line. For example, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12. What's next?
14.
What's my rule?
Add 2 each time.
We're adding 2 each time, right?
Yes.
So, that's what we're looking for. We're going to determine rules within the pattern to solve what comes next. So how do you determine relationships between numbers in a sequence? What can you do? I have 2 numbers next to each other, or 3 numbers next to each other. What can you do to tell me how those numbers are related? Well, you just told me if we counted 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, the next number is, and the relationship between the numbers is, you're adding 2, right? Now, if we're adding 2, what if I went the other direction? I said 10, 8, 6, 4. What's next?
2.
Why? We're subtracting 2 now, right? So what if I went 2, 4, 8, 16? So what's next? 32. So now that time I multiplied everything by 2. 2 times 2 is 4. 4 times 2 is 8. 8 times 2 is 16. 16 times 2 is 32. So what if I went the other direction? What if I went 32, 16, 8? I'm dividing by 2. So we can add, subtract, multiply, or divide to find out some kind of relationship between numbers. Is that the only thing we can do? No, there's other things, but those are the ones that we're going to focus on today. Okay? I mean, we could go square roots and say, okay, 4, 9, 16, right? And then after 16 would be 25. So all I'm doing is taking 2, multiplied it by 2, that's 4. Then 3 multiplied by 3, that's 9. 4 multiplied by 4, that's 16. 5 multiplied by 5, that's 25. So our next one would be 6 times 6, which is 36. So you can see there's all kinds of different ways that we can find patterns and the relationships between the numbers. So that's what we're going to be doing today. So it says you can count by 2. All right. We talked about all kinds of different rules. We can add 2 to create a sequence of numbers. All right. They're going to give us some examples right here. So here's our sequences. Here's our rule. Our next 3 terms. This is what we're going to do today on our own. They're not in the right order. No, they're not in the right order. So what we need to do is determine which one of the rules goes with each one of our things. So let's look at 5, 14, 23, 32. What are we doing with 5, 14, 23, and 32? What is our rule? Yes, sir. That is not the rule for that one. How do you get 5 to 14 if you divide it by 2? If you divide 5 by 2, you get 2.5.
Oh, and 9.
We're adding 9. So see, we're going to draw a little line. Well, we were going to draw a line. I think it's on white. Yep. So we're going to add 9. So if we're adding 9, what are my next two numbers? Next three numbers, sorry. 32 plus 9 is 41. 41 plus 9 is 50 plus 9 is? So we're looking for 41, 50, and 59. So we have to draw a line to it. Okay? Our next one, 448, 224, 112, 56. We're going to find our rule first. Sam, thank you so much for raising your hand quietly.
Divide by 2.
We're going to divide by 2 because half of 448 is 224, half of that is 112, and half of that is 56. So we're going to divide by 2, so we're going to draw a line to our rule. Now, once we divide by 2, now we can figure out what our next three digits are, right? So what's 50? What's half of 56? 28. What's half of that?
14.
And half of that is?
7.
Okay, I want you to do the next three on your whiteboards. Okay, so 162, 148, 134, 120. How is 162 related to 148? What are we doing? Yes, ma'am. Subtracting 14. It looks like we're subtracting 14 across. 162 minus 14, or subtract 14 is 148. 148 subtract 14 is 134. 134 subtract 14 is 120. So I think that's a good rule. So, now, with that rule, what are our next three? What are our next three, Jezebel? What's 120 subtract 14? What's 120 subtract 14, Jezebel? $106. Good. What's 106 subtract 14? Miss Book? 92. What's 92 subtract 14? Good job, Mr. Morton. So there's our answer. We need to draw a line right there. Boom. Okay? Next one, 2, 6, 18, 54. What's our pattern? Sir, Isaiah.
Multiplying by 3.
We're multiplying by 3 because 2 times 3 is 6, 6 times 3 is 18, and 18 times 3 is 54. So, multiply by 3. Sounds good. With that being said, what is my next number? What is 54 times 3?
$162.
162. What's 162 times 3? What is 162 times 3? What's that? 486. Very good. And 486 times 3, just to wrap it up. Yes, sir, Mrs. Hess. Miss Hess. 1,458. Yes. So, right there. Boom. Draw my line. All right, and so my last one is 74, 86, 98, 110. We're adding 12 each time. And 110 plus 12 is 122. 122 plus 12 is 134. 134 plus 12 is 146. So we're just like that. Okay. And just because their lines are a little bit straighter, I'll give you a couple seconds. This is how the book did it. You guys did a fantastic job. Everybody had the right answers. All right. So we're going to look for a couple hints when we're looking at patterns. It says, what did you notice about the sequences using addition or multiplication? All right. Well, the numbers got larger, correct?
Yeah.
So if the numbers are going in ascending order, meaning they're increasing, they're getting bigger, that's ascending. Okay? When you go up a set of stairs, you ascend up the stairs. It's going to be addition or multiplication. Okay? What do you know about sequences using subtraction or division? What happens to the numbers? They're descending, which means they are. And going down means the numbers are smaller, right? It's going from greatest to least. All right, so the numbers are getting smaller. Now, how can you tell if the sequence is using addition or multiplication? The amount between each number in the sequence is going up. All right. So first of all, it has to be increasing. Next, if you subtract the first two digits in the pattern and then subtract the second and third digit in the pattern, if it gives you the same distance in between the numbers, it's probably addition. If it's a different amount between each number, it's probably multiplication. All right? So all we have to do is do a subtraction problem with two of the numbers that are next to each other in the pattern. If the numbers are the same, it's probably addition. If the numbers are different, it's probably multiplication. Now, now we get to do an example. All right, it says Mary and her friends find a 4-leaf clover during lunch. A 4-leaf clover has 4 leaves. Wow. The table shows the total number of leaves for several 4-leaf clovers. Extend the pattern to find the next 3 terms. If they found 1 clover, how many leaves are there?
4.
2 clovers?
8.
3 clovers?
12.
4 clovers?
16.
Each term in the sequence can be found by adding
4.
4. And they show you right here. Look at 4 plus 4 is 8, plus 4 is 12, plus 4 is 16, plus 4 is
20.
So 16 plus 4 is 20. Then we have 20 plus 4, 24. And then we have 24 plus 4, 28. Now it says the next 3 terms are 20, comma, 24, comma, 28. Okay. So you can see today's work is it's pretty difficult, huh? All right. The hardest part about today is going to be taking your time, and when you try something, because you're going to have to try addition, you're going to have to try multiplication, to not get upset if something doesn't work. If it doesn't work, try the next thing. Remember, if it's ascending, if it's going up, it's either addition or
Multiplication.
if it's going down, it's either subtraction or...
Division.
All right. So, example number 2 says, Mary and Zhang are training to run a half marathon. A half marathon is about 13 miles. All right, they run too much. Their weekly training plans are shown in the table. Use the information to write a sequence to represent each person's weekly training plan. Then compare the plans. Maria is starting with 2 miles. Zhang is starting with 4 miles. Maria is going to add 2 miles per week for each of the next 4 weeks. Zhang is going to add 4 miles per week for each of the next 4 weeks. So the first thing it tells us to do is we're going to create a what? We're going to create a pattern. So in order to create the pattern, we need to know, we're going to write a sequence with 5 terms for Maria's training plan. So Maria's is pretty easy because we're going to start with 2 and we're counting by, we're going to add, how many are we going to add every time? 2. So we're going to go with 5 for her. So we start at 2. Go ahead, just tell me. What's next? What's next? What's after 2?
4, 6, 8, 10, 11.
That's it. We need 5, right? Okay, so now we're going to go to Zhang's. And Zhang's is starting at 4. And they're going to add how much per time?
4.
So 4 to
8.
to
12.
to
16. 20.
and 20. That gives us 5 numbers. What? Now it's asking us to look at our 2 patterns. It says compare the training plans. Each week, Zhang plans to run blank as many miles as Maria. Seabass, what's my answer? Do you know which question we're on, Seabass? Which one? You don't know, do you? I take it you won't be at home watching this with your mother. Come on, pay attention. Jedi. Twice as many miles. Very good. Alright. The very first week, one of them is running 2 miles, the other one's running 4 miles. 2 times 2 is 4. The next week, 4 miles and 8 miles. 4 times 2 is 8. Then we have 6 and 12. 6 times 2 is 12. 8 and 16. 8 times 2 is 16. And 10 and 20. 10 times 2 is 20. Very good. There you go. Okay, it says write the next 3 terms in the sequence. So our terms that they give us are 1, 4, 7, and 10. So each term in the sequence can be found by adding what? 3 to the previous term. So that means 10 plus 3 is 13 plus 3 is, and 16 plus 3 is
19.
So the next 3 terms are 13,
15, 16, 19.
13, 16, and 19. Very good. There they are. All right. It says now, how are these sequences 2, 5, 8, and 11, and 2, 6, 8, and 54 alike? How are they alike? We've talked about this. We've talked about this already. We said certain kinds of patterns are going to be certain things, and certain kind of patterns are going to be other things. Well, how are these two alike? I'm sure you know, but I'm not calling on you. Put your hand down. Same thing with you. Do you know how they're like? I will let you guys in on a little hint. I told you the first thing we're going to look for in the patterns is one of two things in order to tell if we're going to add and multiply or subtract and divide. What is that we're looking for? Yes, ma'am. Yep. We're adding 3. So what's happening to the numbers? They're getting larger. And in the second one? And what's happening to the numbers? So our first part is how are they alike? How are they both alike? In both cases, the numbers are getting larger through the sequence. All right? That's how they are alike. She also covered how they're different. In one of them, we are adding 3, and in the other one, we are multiplying 3. So that's how they're alike and different. It is very important that you realize which direction the numbers are going, so you know if you're going to add or multiply, or if you're going to subtract or divide. So here we go. Okay, we're going to identify the pattern. Then write the next 3 terms in each sequence. So 0 to 7. Isaiah, how do we get from 0 to 7?
Adding 7.
Okay, and this is kind of strange because they start the pattern with 0, right?
Mm-hmm.
Then we go to 7. Now we said that when the pattern goes up, it can be one of 2 things, correct?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so if the pattern's getting larger, it can be what? Addition or multiplication. So multiplication or addition. Sorry, my addition sign is... There you go. All right. Isaiah, can you tell me why you knew it was addition?
Because 7 times 3 will equal 21, and 7 plus 7 will equal 14.
Oh, I have an easier way than that, though, Isaiah. Do you see it? Yes, sir.
It's because if you times 0 by 7, it'll equal 0.
Right. So if the pattern was multiplication, there's no way it could start with 0 because every number after it would be 0. So because it's going up and it starts with 0, we automatically know it's going to be addition. So we have 0, 7, 14, 21. Okay? What I would like to see you guys do to show your work is start from the last number. Write an equation. Then write 2 more equations. 21 plus 7 is 28. Then we're going to go 28 plus 7.
35.
So our last one will be 35 plus 7.
42.
Then I'm going to write my 3 answers. 28, 35, 42. I want to see this. Okay? I want you to show me how you got your answers. So if it's multiplication, it's division, whatever it is, I need to see 3 of those underneath so I can see how you got your next 3 terms. Yes, sir. Number 3. Which direction is it going? Downward. So, the first thing that I told you to do if it's going downward is what? So, I want you to do a subtraction problem with these 2, then do a subtraction problem with these 2. Are they the same distance from each other? So 1,458 minus, or subtract, sorry, 486. How far apart are they? It's not subtraction because the distance from here to here is different than the distance from here to here. So it has to be division. Okay? Now, that means that problem should be able to tell you what they're dividing by. Okay? So I didn't solve the entire problem, but I set it up for you. We should be able to do it now, right? Alright, fantastic. Okay, real quick. So you're going to do the rest of these. Pay attention if it's going up or if it's going down, because that'll let you know if it's addition, subtraction, multiplication, or division. Okay? So there's going to be 13 of those. 14. 14 gives you a little table up here. Do not look at the entire problem, please. We need to read and find our the important part. So it says an amusement park offers discounted tickets after 4 p.m. Both ticket prices are shown on the right. Write the total cost of 1, 2, 3, and 4 tickets for each time period. Compare the cost of 4 tickets before 4 p.m. to 4 tickets after 4 p.m. So you have to make a chart. Four numbers. 4 tickets before 4 and 4 tickets after 4. Here's before, here's after, here's the prices. You're going to tell the difference of the cost using patterns before 4 and after 4. Okay? Which one doesn't belong? One of these does not have a sequence. I will tell you that. Okay? And how can we extend patterns? Well, we've been doing that the entire time, haven't we? Okay? That's what you need to explain, how you're finding the next 3 numbers in a sequence on number 16. All right? Fantastic. You guys have a few minutes to work on this on your own. Our video does not stop here. If you would like to, when you get home, you are going to be able to log on and our answers are following. So if you use this video to find your answers, which are now running through, you must show your work and tell us how you identified the pattern and what the next 3 terms are in each sequence. If your paper only has what is written down in the answers, we will consider your homework to be what?
Unfinished.
Incomplete. Independent practice.